So welcome everybody. Welcome to this evening's Hot Song podcast. The topic for this evening is oneness, and today is October the 16th, 2025. So oneness. Before I go any further into it, just want to mention that there are many levels of oneness. So I would kind of specify more a little later on. But when we say oneness, I know it seems to be counterintuitive. No, oneness there's only one. How come there are many levels? But anyways, this will be more self-explanatory as we talk about um the I would say the cosmology as my understanding of it right now. I'm not saying that it is the truth or that it is the only truth out there. I'm just saying that this is my understanding and it may or may not resonate with you. I'm just sharing my understanding of oneness and the levels of oneness with all of you. And let's begin. So oneness, what is oneness? So when we say oneness, I think before my understanding of oneness is that there is only one, and that everything goes to that one. So and that there is only one, and then that's it. Period. But actually, the more I delve into it, my understanding of it is that there is actually many levels of oneness. Why? Because we live in different universes first. So what do I mean by so let me just explain a little. Let's just look at this one first, the one on the left side first. So this is a representation of one, of one of the one. Okay, so what do I mean by that? One meaning that um this is the so in terms of dimension, one is the 13th dimension, as far as I know. And that in that there is one that is one. Why do we call it one? Because within this one field, so within that oneness field, there are many universes. So let's say universe one is the one that we are in, for example. So universe is one is what we know. And in this universe, my name is Winnie, and I know you guys. And there is a place called Canada, and then there's a planet called Earth, and then there are other planets called, let's say Saturn. There are planets called Venus, blah, 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 all that. And that we have something called the Milky Way, which is um, made up of many different stars. So this is one universe, and within that universe, there are many timelines. So the one timeline is this one, and then there could be another timeline where let's say I'm another timeline. I may not be talking to you, to all of you right now. I may be going on vacation, or I may be like 20 years older, or I may be a man. So in another timeline. So timeline just means that because of the choices that I've made, that it gives me a certain experience. So that is a timeline. So each universe has many different timelines. And then there are other universes. So what is a universe? A universe is a container that has one set of rules. So for example, in this universe, we have something called stars, which gives off light, and then there are planets which revolves around a star. And so in this universe, there is a color called green, and then there's a color called red, for example. Blah, blah. We can see things, so there are colors. So in this universe. In another universe, it could be completely different set of rules. Maybe it could be that we don't have colors. Everything is just, opaque. It could be that. So then, let's say in another universe, there's human beings, or like beings does not have a head, or does not have, hands. Maybe they're all blobs. And we just, so it just means that each universe has one universal set of rules that all of the beings that plays in that universe has to create their experiences that is confined to that set of rules. So a universe is just that. And then there can be, I have only three here, but it is an unlimited amount of universes within this one field. And this one field actually is not the only oneness field. There can be many oneness field. So other oneness field may be different, very different from ours. So this is my understanding of what oneness. Why oneness in this universe? In this universe, there is oneness. And when we have experienced enough, and we have really transformed our soul enough, that the soul get to the point where it does not need to be separate from oneness anymore, then that soul kind of starts to fade back into oneness. But it's all this one. It could be another oneness field which has other universes, other multiple universes, and they could have multiple timelines, each of them. So within this oneness field, within one oneness field, the you can theoretically, I don't know how to do it, but theoretically, you can jump from one universe to another. And also from within the universe, you can go from one timeline to another timeline. So it can be done. However, from this oneness field, as far as I know, you can't really jump to another oneness field. So all of this oneness, if you are within the same oneness field, you can go from one universe to another. And there are, of course, a lot of, I would say, preparation that you need to do before you can do that. Jump from one universe to another universe, or even within the same universe from one timeline to another timeline. There are also things that you need to do, preparation, shifts in consciousness that you need to do in order to jump timeline, and also even more shifts that you need to do in order to go from one universe to another universe. But jumping is all within the same oneness field, whereas if it's completely another oneness field, then as far as I know, you can't really jump from one oneness field to another oneness field. And there can be multiple oneness field. I just have two here. That does not mean that there's only two oneness field. I don't know how many. I just know that there's more than one. So, any questions so far about what I talked about, levels of oneness? Okay.
I was asking, there can be infinite amount of this oneness?
It can be more than one. I don't know how many, but there's more, definitely more than one oneness field.
Mm.
Is it infinite? I don't know. I don't know how many there are. So I don't really know whether it's infinite or not.
Okay, and I guess you're going to tell us how it relates to us, this oneness.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So
Mm, sure.
what I'm trying to show is that there is actually levels of oneness. So, okay, I just want to show that there are levels of oneness. So there is, of course, there is another level of, so this one field is one level of oneness. And then because there's more than one oneness field, so there has to be another level of oneness, which is the level of oneness where it contains all of these different oneness field at some point.
So my understanding what you're saying that like I'm putting Earth and like say from sky to the Earth is one box and we all the species we are living the human beings are living and we can be a oneness. And then there's another planet or another whatever it is, another cube, and they have their own rules and regulation, and for them is oneness is that oneness. So the human beings cannot connect it to the next box to be oneness in there. The human beings has to be oneness on this box where we are right now. Am I clear, or is that what it is, or I'm lost?
So Earth is just a very tiny dot within each of these universe. Very,
Oh,
very tiny dot. Very,
mm-hmm,
very, very tiny dot within one of these universe.
mm-hmm.
Extremely small, and then there are many other planets within this universe. There are many, like if you just go look at the Milky Way, you know that there are so many um like bright stars there. Each star has a number of planets revolving around them. So there are really many, more than, I don't know the number, but there are just
Correct.
actually many, many potential world like Earth within one
So
universe.
human beings can connect to the Milky Way or to the people living in a different planet, like small speck of the Earth can connect it to the Milky Way and to the other planets to the other, and that could be oneness.
Yeah. Hmm.
Okay, thank you, thank
And
you, thank
we are actually going towards that direction, believe
you.
it or
Mhm.
not. Right now, because Earth has been experiencing third dimension duality. In duality, of course, is we forgot about what oneness is in our version of duality. Like we are really very far away from oneness or the concept of oneness. However, believe it or not, we are moving back to oneness. How long is this going to take us? I have no idea. It may be yeah, so we're gonna start to wake up to what oneness is. So we're going to start to, um, well, peace on earth is actually just so it's just even within earth itself, we are trying to fight one another
Mm-hmm.
for various reasons. However, we're going to start to remember that we are one. And so that's when when more of us remember that we are actually part of one, then we will stop. We will stop trying to kill one another, trying to, uh, mm, play this game of, play this game of, um, trying to take things for ourselves, because when we remember that we are all just one,
Mm-hmm.
we're not there yet. However, we are getting there one day, hopefully sooner rather than later, before we try to destroy ourselves. But yes, we are moving towards that direction. That is the directive that we are moving towards that, moving towards a oneness that is within this universe, um and then we are actually going to go beyond. It's going to take a much longer period of time, of course, to get to the oneness field that is even here, let alone jump to another oneness field and get to the next level of oneness. However, we are all within just one of these bubble now, and just one of these timelines now. So
Do you think it's going to be in our life, or we have to come back to see that?
to see what? To see peace on
To
earth, or
see,
to
yes,
see
yes, yes. To see peace on earth, like how we say heaven on earth. It will be while we are here, or it's going to take longer than that.
that depends.
Mhm.
That depends on which which playground you choose. Some people choose the 5D playground, some people choose the 3D playground, or
Mhm.
4D, I should say the 4D playground. So depending on, because we are still, coexisting right now.
Mhm.
We are splitting up the two earths. We're splitting up, but we're not completely splitted yet. But most likely, if you are listening to me talking about oneness, most likely you have picked the fifth dimension.
All right.
Most likely, but no
and,
guarantee. I cannot guarantee that, but most likely you have picked this.
and the other thing, I was listening to your other podcast, so I was laughing my head off. So I am on the right place. Thank you very much, Winnie, and thank you, everybody.
Okay.
I I know, it's hard to believe that we are actually on the path of remembering oneness, but we are. And so levels of oneness, and also like there are more than one universe. And at some point when we have really, I would say, remember who we truly are enough, then we can actually jump to another universe. I, however, that's really way beyond my what I have to cover uh, here. So let's just kind of maintain to one universe and one timeline. Well, jumping timeline is like we do this um fairly often, I would say. I wouldn't say all the time. I would say fairly often we jump timeline. You would recognize that you've jumped timeline. I realize sometimes that I've jumped timeline just by comparing details. There are slight details that is different when you jump timeline. Mm. So, if things does not match up with what you remember, then there is a possibility that you have jumped timeline. So, however, that's another topic for another day. Let's just focus on oneness. So, any other questions or any other comments about oneness so far? Okay, let's go. So how do we know we're in the oneness, I should say oneness field? There are certain things that you would know is, so one is the origin. Origin meaning the origin for the same oneness field. Okay, and it is before soul. So that means when we get back to oneness, we don't just have no ego, we actually have no soul as well. Because soul is a kind of creation. The soul creates the body, but then oneness created soul. So when we go all the way back into oneness, we actually have, we go back to before we were soul. So there's no form, not even source, because source is still a creation. Okay, it is the field where all separation dissolves, so nothing is separated. Everything is just one. You don't even recognize that, there is separation at all when you get there. There's no more you, there's no more identity, no more agenda, there's no more thoughts. And everything just flow. You just know everything, or at least, or at the very least, you know the things that you needed to know in that moment. So you don't have any identity, you have no name, no soul story, meaning that you've no karma anymore. Everything is just gone. So what remains is just pure presence. Presence meaning just awareness. You're just aware that you're just aware of your surrounding, and you don't even realize that you are separate from your surrounding. You're no longer inside the field, you are the field. So this is the oneness field. And everything stops. There's no movement, no outward movement. So everything is just stillness, no movement. There's no more time, because time separates. Time separates the past from the future and the present. So there's no more time. You don't need to speak, because there's no you. So you don't need to speak. You just have presence, and presence just, everything about presence is just the truth. You don't need to think. And yet everything that you are aware of, and you need to know in the moment, you know it. You don't need to do anything, because there's no doer anymore. There's no you anymore. Everything is just done already. So it's a very different state. Now, we are, of course, not getting into this oneness, this level of oneness tonight, because it's not going to be easy to really get to this level of oneness, of experience of oneness. However, there is something that is that we can start to do. Remember last week I did a release for you, all of you, about identity and the narrative. So I would highly suggest, because I already sent you guys the replay links, is if you want to get better at this, going dipping into the level of oneness that you are ready to experience. Because experientially, we can have deeper level of oneness. Maybe not to the level of oneness that is this, where you don't remember yourself. You don't even remember your soul, that you are soul. However, we can get to the point where we are no longer our egoic self, that we don't remember that we have a name. So that is possible. That is very much possible. And so doing that release of the identity and the narrative, that's really about releasing the ego, and also getting the unified soul field, where you go into the void. When you go into the void, then the void kind of starts to melt everything down, because within the void, and when you really experience a void, you start to experience having your body dissolve, meaning that you don't really feel that your body is there anymore. So you become more pure consciousness. So that we can definitely achieve. Okay. Any questions, comments about what oneness feels like?
I just want to reach there, so then I will feel it.
So I would suggest that we're gonna do a USF, so Unified Soul Field meditation first, and then I would activate 1. So this level of 1 is just, you would feel that this level of 1 is all your different parts of your brain starts to be coherent. When your brain becomes coherent, all the different parts of your brain becomes coherent. My experience is that I would feel like the top of my head is swirling, so meaning that the central meridian is going strong. And also I feel that I'm not interested in putting my attention outside. So it's a very inward looking, everything collapsing back to yourself kind of feeling. Okay, so anything else before we start the USF? Okay, so let me just stop.